Welcome to the Top Gun Garage podcast, bringing honor back to the garage. Here's your host, Grady Harrison. Hey there, Charlie McDermott, back with the one and only Grady Harrison. Grady, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Charlie. I'm excited for our conversation today.
Yeah. Well, Top Gun Garage comes with, a lot of, I don't know, imagery about, the best. And it's funny. I was just watching TV for a few minutes last night, and I saw our governor with a Top Gun uniform and kind of playing the Top Gov routine. And I thought of you. And, you know, the I kind of the best of the best, what I love about what you do, my goodness, you take pride in it, and you give it your all and then some. And each job, the feeling I get from you with your passion is where I'm going with this full circle. Is each job is a mission, right? You're on a mission, and one of those missions is, she's, get that storage space under control. That typically, those garages, they're meant for cars, but what do we see in them oftentimes? Just full of stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
and you hit the nail on the head there too. I hear that a lot when I talk to customers. They feel like they're in a battle that they just can't win. Where they're just being inundated with stuff. They don't know where to put it, and it's just
Yeah.
their garage is just being overrun with just you name it.
Yeah. And it's that old, something comes in and it's like, well, I don't know where to put it, but for now, air quotes, I'll just put it in the garage, and I'll figure it out in the next few days. And before you know it, a few years, and you can't even find that piece because all this other clutter's around it. So, Grady, help. How do we get our garages back, not only with the gorgeous floors that you put in, so we can see those floors, but more importantly, what do we do with all this stuff?
Yeah, I mean that's a great question. It's kind of individual for each customer, but we definitely see some common problems. And I would say that the first thing that you have to do is kind of, all of that stuff that you've put in that giant maybe pile out in your garage and you're still deciding what you want to do with it, is basically just think about the frequency in which you need to access these things. So for instance, hey, I've got Christmas decorations. I only need to get those once a year. I need to get those in a location that is out of the way. I can
Hmm.
still access it when it comes to holiday times. I know it starts early and earlier every year, but something that I'm just not grabbing for every day. I need to get those out of the way, off the floor, and in a space where I know where it's at. And I would say that the best solution to that is our overhead storage solutions. They mount directly to the ceiling. They're up out of the way. You can still grab them, and they're readily available, but they're just kind of out of sight, out of mind until it comes time to use that particular item, that holiday piece of
Yeah.
decoration.
So all that unused overhead space, we can store a lot of our stuff, and that's a great point. I never thought about looking at it that way. Those Christmas decorations, a great example. Once a year, let's put it in a place where I can access it, but not kind of get it out of the way the other 11 months out of the year.
Right, and there's a lot of opportunities in garages that can get it up off the floor. There's actually a really good space that we like to use for overhead storage, and that's the area in between the garage door and the ceiling. So that way, when you open the garage, you actually can't even see uh, where it's at, and you can still access it from the end. But it definitely tucks it away there nicely and neatly, and gets it, you know, basically out of sight, out of mind, and still protected from the elements. It's off the ground.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I kind of know what you're saying when you ask, well, isn't my Christmas tree heavy? Isn't it gonna be kind of tough? I have to get a ladder and stuff. We actually have motorized overhead storage. So it's basically an
Oh,
elevator that you're able to put up there, and you just have a little Bluetooth remote, and you just let it go down all the way about eighth inch off the floor, and you can load all your stuff up and then just tuck it back away like an elevator.
wow. No idea. That's impressive. Wow. And what kind of weight does that hold?
So they're able to hold anywhere between 6 and 800 pounds.
Dang.
So Definitely more than you would be able to put on there
Yeah.
with your common items, unless you're storing car engines or something like that. Then we
Yeah.
start getting into
Gold
trouble. But
bricks.
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
that's where I put my money. No one will ever discover that. Wow. Okay. Very, very cool. What else? What else in the garage? What other spaces are you taking advantage of?
Okay. Yeah. So once you get those uncommon items that you don't use all the time off the floor, you have a little bit of breathing room. You can kind of take a look at what is it that I'm looking to access. Maybe I need to get the, you know, oil for my car, the car detailing stuff, just kind of your general stuff. But you don't want that out in the open because it just can kind of get dusty and dirty, and it's just not protected. So for that, we always recommend cabinets. We have
Mm,
really great lines of cabinets that are specifically tailored to the environment inside of the garage. I know there's a lot of, closet type companies that come in and they'll put particle board type stuff in there, but we found that it just doesn't hold up, and our
yeah.
customers are just really not happy with it. So we have some good powder coated metal options, and we actually have some really cool carbon fiber options as well that has that real garage feel. Just real, tailored for the, you know, we've had customers that match it to their car color and all kinds of stuff like that.
Oh,
And
cool. Yeah.
yeah, and they all
Oh, that's
have
great.
a lifetime warranty.
Really?
Hmm.
Okay. So you don't have to worry about the Southwest Florida elements of corrosion and so forth. That's all kind of covered in the warranty.
Absolutely, yeah, and
Yeah.
and a big part of that, um, on top of the really durable type materials, is actually getting the cabinets up off the ground, not in contact with the floor,
Mm,
because there's a lot of those elements exposures that happens when if you can think of just setting a wood cabinet on a garage floor, you could end up with that moisture getting wicked up in there, and that's kind of what we see a lot of the cabinet failures from
yeah.
kind of a interior designed type of materials.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. So then, how about for? I'm asking you. I'm sure all kinds of things go on in the garage, from crafting to. I mean, certainly the tools. I mean, typically that's the place for tools and workbenches and things like that. Do you have any suggestions? Do you deal in those different aspects?
Yeah, absolutely. We do have a line of cabinets too that are pretty much like your commercial grade toolbox, where it has the nice rollers with the ball bearings, and also gives you really good work surface, so you can actually sit down, have some under cabinet lighting, be able to do your hobbies, and just wrench around and
Mm,
actually spend some time in your garage where you have your tools accessible. You got a nice little stool you can sit on, and yeah, we definitely have plenty of options for hobbyists. That's definitely people
yeah.
we like to work with.
Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of smiling here. I'm thinking, probably a lot of your clients, and you always talk about, using that area in your house. It's like the biggest space in your home that kind of just gets ignored, or we load it up with stuff, the garage. Do you find a lot of your clients, after you come in and maybe you're talking to them a year or two later, because they're spending a lot of time in there, they probably end up like air conditioning, putting air conditioning in their garage because they really enjoy the time spent in there.
Yeah, and that's kind of our mission, is to bring honor back to the garage.
Yeah.
It's my opinion that the garage is one of the most underutilized space in the entire home, and it is a shame because it typically is 20% or more of the actual square footage of the home. So
Yeah.
yeah, we
Yeah.
we love to see our clients being able to spend time, make memories out there, and actually use their space for what it was intended for.
Wow. That's awesome. Any other tips, tricks, information on making the most of your garage from a storage standpoint?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we haven't mentioned yet is how where are we keeping all these shovels and rakes and gardening
Ah,
tools and
yes.
those larger items that you're not gonna be able to fit those in a cabinet, or nor do you want to put
Right.
them in there. For that, we do have slat wall. So I don't know how many Chip and Joanna fans we have out there, but it looks just like shiplap. Um,
Uh-huh.
and it comes in custom colors, and we can cover your entire wall with this shiplap type material. And what that allows us to do is add hooks and hanging storage. So anything from golf bags to rakes and brooms, pretty much anything you can think of, they make a hook that is specifically designed to, you know, store that item. That way it's readily accessible, it's off the floor, and it's within your
Mm.
view, and it looks neat and organized. So it's definitely, we recommend slat wall. Pretty much all of our clients end up getting some sort of slat wall somewhere, whether it's in the backsplash area of a cabinet or pretty much the entire walls. It gives it a nice finished look, and you
Mhm.
can just reconfigure it to for when you do get those unplanned items or something you didn't have originally. Well, that we got a hook for that, and you can just reconfigure it however you like.
We got a hook for that. I love it. I love it. No more wrestling with all of your landscaping tools and brooms and rakes and shovels. As much fun as that is, it gets old after maybe the second or third time. Uh,
Yeah, and
yeah,
I definitely I'm speaking to those with kids right now. I suffer from this. I have two girls that are about 40 pounds apiece, but they come with about 700 pounds worth of toys and bicycles and all those sort of things too. So, so those little mesh bags that hang on the slat wall are helpful for balls and toys and stuff like that. You can
yeah.
just throw it in there because think about trying to store a ball. It's kind of tough
Oh,
because it just rolls away all over the place. So we got mesh bags and bike holders, all kinds of stuff. Pretty much anything you can think of.
yeah, yeah. And again, brings back memories of my soccer coaching days and trying to coming home with 5 or 6 soccer balls, and it's like you just throw them in the corner, and then of course they bounce and roll out the garage, and you're chasing them. So, yeah, man, where were you 20 years ago, Grady? Jeez. Uh, well, I love this. This is, you certainly are bringing back honor to the garage. This is great stuff, Grady. Final remarks on getting our garage in gear, in shape.
Yeah, so let me just talk to those people that do have that dumping ground right now, where they've kind of just been
Yeah.
opening the door, tossing the stuff out, and just not wanting to look at it. First of all, it's okay. It happens. Uh, I would say that the majority of people do kind of experience that season of life where you're kind of just like, I'm going to deal with this later. I'm going to put it in the maybe pile. But I just want to let you know there is a solution. There is something that we can do, and this is also something that we can do kind of incrementally, right? We just talked about a few different
Hmm.
things. You don't have to commit to, hey, am I spending $20,000 on my garage right now? We have options that can get you, within like $1,000, where we can start getting some good storage options, and it's going to give you that light at the end of the tunnel,
Right.
so that way you can start making some plans and kind of filtering out the noise that you have in there and just see what it is that you can actually do in there. And what's going to happen is you're going to get motivated. You're going to be like,
Yeah.
whoa, I never realized that I can actually use this part of my home for something other than store just kind of
Right.
throwing my junk in. But yeah, so just give us a call. We're happy to give tips and tricks, and even if you don't hire us for our service, we're more than happy to kind of give you some ideas and
Yeah.
throw some stuff out at you and see if there's anything that we can do to help.
So I love that. So it's not an all or one or none thing. You can actually get in there and like you said, for $1,000, begin to get that space organized, begin to help homeowners take back their garage, and then over time, bring your team, bring you back in again for a little more and a little more, and phase it in, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I also do want to mention we do have financing options available, 0% interest. So, if it's one of those things where you're like wondering about the budget, or you're kind of just like you just don't want to come up with the cash for
Yeah.
a big garage build right now. We have some options that can get you some low monthly payments and get you a killer garage.
Love it. Love it. Great, man. You're awesome.
All right,
This is what
appreciate you, Charlie.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I think we covered the getting your garage organized. I'm sure you'll come up with something new and different. Love that having an elevator in your garage for your stuff is awesome. Who knows what you come up with next? maybe secret hiding places in the walls that only the push the button and it automatically open. Nah, that's why I'm not in the garage business. My ideas just wouldn't make any sense. But you are the man. Uh, we will get back together for our next episode. Until then, man, keep doing what you're doing.
All right, appreciate you, Charlie. Thanks for having this conversation with me.
Thanks for listening to the Top Gun Garage podcast. To learn more about Top Gun Garage, go to www.topgun-garage.com. That's www.topgun-garage.com or call 239-488-7000.